wants us to look in the ocean, but he doesn't kill there.
Yeah, of course not, because the ocean's, it's too chaotic. I mean, it would have to be an environment that he had complete control, one where he could extend the torture for as long as he wants. He's drowning them in his own backyard.
Criminal Minds just keeps getting renewed like so quickly. It kind of blows my mind that back in the CBS days, it felt like every May you were kind of like sitting by the phone wondering, right?
I don't know that it felt that way back then, but I mean, yeah, like towards the end of the show, we were on the proverbial bubble, but you know, we were competing in a different landscape. We were doing 22 episodes a year. Everybody was on the bubble every year. You know what I mean? We were all waiting for upfronts. And I think, you know, they let the show go and they almost immediately brought it back on Paramount. So I think that we demonstrated a value to them, not just on the domestic level, but globally as a piece of IP that's known in, you know, 100 countries. And so it's a little bit less. We're on tenterhooks a little bit less now, which is nice. Yeah.
How do you like the new schedule where you just kind of like show up, bang out 10 episodes, take a little time off, and come back in a few months?
It never feels cavalier. You know, we really care about the show. I think, honestly, making 10 episodes instead of 22 is a little bit more labor intensive because you better make 10 kick-ass episodes of television. With 22, you know, I don't know what the numbers are, but there's some adage in Hollywood with 22, you're going to get 8 great episodes, 8 serviceable ones, and 8 crappy ones. We can't make a mistake with 10 episodes, and we really put the work in.
So when the new season opens up, it's been 6 months since Elias Voit took that beating in prison. How is Old Securious faring these days?
I can tell you very little. What I will say is that the move to Paramount Plus has given us an opportunity to explore the show in a different way, to focus more on the psychology of sociopathy. And so with Voit, he's been an asset that's also been a problematic element to the show, right? This is a guy that knows how sociopaths work, and so he's presented some kind of value to the team. At the same time, he's a terrible person. He's killed a lot of people. And there's a lot of dissent about whether we should work with this guy, how we should work with this guy. He has answers to questions that we need, and we've got to get close to him to get them. And that is going to prove to be a moral problem for everybody on the team this season.
I find it interesting that, like in the early episodes, there's almost a little debate between Tara and the other agents about what Voight's condition is and what he's up to.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Lewis cares about the nuance of sociopathy, right? I think that fundamentally, because she's a scientist, she believes that the human mind is malleable, that it's plastic, that it can be reformed. She doesn't believe that people are fundamentally good or fundamentally bad. She believes in the science. For somebody like Luke Alves, bad guys are bad guys, and they need to be put down. And so that's really the conversation here. And I think it's a bigger global conversation that we really are having in the public square right now, which is, are people fundamentally good or are they fundamentally bad? If you believe people are fundamentally good, then you believe that the world should be saved. If you believe people are fundamentally bad, you put them away without due process. You put them away without asking questions first. You decide that guy looks bad to me, he must be bad, and therefore I'm going to take his rights away. And I think for Tara and for the team at large, you have to believe that the world is good in order to get up every day to save it.
What can you reveal about Tara's upcoming arc?
This season is going to be deeply personal for Tara, which is really nice. It was great as an actor to get to do some stuff I haven't been able to do on this show anymore, because I'm typically the person who comes in and goes, the stats on this crime, and here's what happens when you do this, and don't if you hold your breath for 6 seconds.
46% of Americans fear deep water and pools, and 64% of them fear open water.
So we get to dive into my backstory a little bit this season, which has been really beautiful. And she's also the voice of science on the show. When people are responding with emotion, with anger, with force, you know, I think Tara is the one that's like, hey guys, we got to save the world, but we got to do it the right way. And so that's been really lovely to play.
You directed the new season's 2nd episode.
I did.
You've directed before, obviously. And it features no less than the very rare Criminal Minds love scene between Tara and Rebecca.
Yes.
How did that go for you?
I don't know if I can say this on your show, but sweating balls is how it went. It's never comfortable.
Were you your own intimacy coordinator?
I had an intimacy coordinator, and she was indispensable. That was not my first time directing a sex scene. I have done it before. Intimacy coordinators they're like a special teams coach. You want them. You can't coach every team by yourself if you're the head coach. You need your nickel teams. You need your special teams. She was amazing, and it was very, very uncomfortable, and I couldn't wait for it to be over.
That brings us to our first reader question. Alyssa wants to know, are there any big obstacles facing Tara and Rebecca this season?
Yes, absolutely. Every big obstacle is facing Tara and Rebecca, both external and internal. I mean, obviously, they work in a high-pressure job that is constantly trying to destroy everybody's life at every turn. Also, Tara has a real problem with intimacy because she's a really driven person. And I think she believes fundamentally, and I think anybody who puts their life on the line for other people starts to feel as if it's more important to make personal sacrifice for others than to be happy. I think that's really Tara's main motivator. Like, how can I be happy when there are people dying? I don't get to be happy. If I take time for myself, I'm taking time away from my job, and my job saves lives. So I think that she's going to be navigating that very thorny question. And I think it's a question we all ask ourselves, like, I want to be happy. I deserve to be happy, but other people are suffering. How can I balance the two?
In episode 2, you get to direct Eldon Henson and ask him to do some things that are very different from what he's ever done as Daredevil's Foggy. Talk about working with him.
He was amazing. Oh, God, I just really lucked out with my casting in this episode. Eldon, what was so great about casting him was that he has such a lovable face. I literally wrote back to my casting director, I love his face. Like, we have to hire him. I love his bleeping face. And he was able to deliver this very nuanced performance of a guy who, I don't want to give a lot away, but a guy who had a private life and presented in a very different way publicly. I am a Pollyanna by nature. I do believe that people are inherently good. And I think that even people who have done horrible things can be reformed. And I think when you draw a portrait of a bad guy, you gotta paint in nuance, because everybody is human. Even if they're broken, even if they've done bad things, there's some kernel of humanity in them. And he did a really good job with that role. He's just rad. And they did their own stunts. I mean, I had just watched my episode back a couple of days ago, and I was like, oh my God, this episode's awesome. Who directed it? It's a really good one.
Do the unsubs this season get any more twisted or deviant than Eldon's character?
Absolutely. I mean, This is a really hot season for unsubs. We have this larger overarching puzzle, which is, Voit and his minions and how they may interact and interplay, whether there's a grand plan for all these other sociopaths, these other serial killers that comes from Voit. But that gives us an opportunity to give people what they love about Criminal Minds, which is we're going to give you your freak of the week. If you come for the unsubs and the takedowns, you're going to get them this season, but we're not going to deprive you of that bigger overarching puzzle of Voit and his network and what that means for the BAU.
I saw in an upcoming episode, Tara's wearing a Dartmouth sweatshirt. Is that the first time you've gotten to wear swag from your own alma mater?
I try to get Dartmouth on every character I've ever played on television. So, but she's the first one. I originally wore a Dartmouth sweatshirt, I think in season 16 or 17, when I had a flashback to my college years.
Okay.
So I got to do it again this time. But go Big Green.
Kelsey notes that you've directed an episode of Evil, which featured this really gruesome demon baby.
Yeah.
This episode of Criminal Minds you did last season that had an unsub who was dissolving people.
Yes.
You've done episodes from the Walking Dead franchise, the one you have coming up on Criminal Minds this season. Kelsey wants to know, would you ever want to direct a horror film?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like horror is an opportunity to really explore big, thoughtful questions about the nature of human existence, who we are, what our true identity is. I think the best horror films kind of submerge a little bit of sociocultural commentary into a big, scary experience. Obviously Jordan Peele does this beautifully. A movie like Midsummer, you know what I mean? There are films that are God, even Sinners. I mean, Sinners is obviously the film that everybody's talking about. Night. Yes, just such a great film. You watch that thing and it's just a good time, and then afterwards you're like, oh my God, that was about so much more than vampires. Spoiler alert. So I feel like it's a great opportunity to get a little bit of medicine and 17 spoonsful of sugar. So yeah, I love horror.
They sent this photo out when the renewal was first announced. What is going on in this season 18 scene?
There's something in that box. I can't tell you what's in the box. I can quote the great film Seven.
What's in the box?
Say, what's in the box? Open the box. I can't tell you what's in the box.
Is it a head?
I can't tell you. I can't tell you.
When I was preparing for this interview, I saw you're some sort of margarita maven these days.
I am a margarita maven these days. I have a line of cocktails. It's called Philosophy, like philosophy. It's a line of super premium organic cocktails. And I wanted to solve a problem for myself, which is I work super long hours. And when I come home at night, I want one great drink. I don't want to drink a light beer. I don't want to drink an oxidized bottle of old Sauvignon Blanc, and I don't want to make a drink because it's going to make my kitchen dirty and messy and sticky. So I came up with this line of like organic, no garbage, no artificial anything. You open this bottle, you pour it out, it tastes amazing. It's bottled at a biodynamic distillery in Jalisco, Mexico. That truck is racing cocktails to everybody's homes right now. And I am the only woman of color in the RTD space. And that was really important to me because I feel like it's a big corporate space with a lot of old guys. And me and my partner who's...
George Clooney, Ryan Reynolds.
You know the guys. And I'm happy for all of them. You know what I mean? I'm stoked that they're doing what they're doing. But for me... to kind of come in and come from a different angle. My partner's Korean American. We really wanted to shake up the space. It's just the two of us. We have a 3-employee company. It's 3 people making margaritas and sending them out to America. And look, we're not curing cancer. But when you come home and you want to pour a glass of something great and you want to watch Criminal Minds or whatever you like to watch on TV, it solves that problem. And what we've had is a lot of moms be like, oh my God, I wanted a margarita so bad and I didn't know what to do. And you solved that problem for me. And I'm like, you're welcome.
You know what I get a lot of mail about? People are asking what's going on with Whose Line?
That's a good question.
Anything you filmed has aired. That much I know.
Everything that we have shot has aired. They have magically been able to extract more seasons than we filmed out of the material that we shot.
Yes.
Some kind of Expelliarmus type Harry Potter spell that they wove is not a word, America, wove over the show. I think we all love working together, honestly. Like Colin and Ryan and Wayne, they're my family. They're extraordinarily talented guys. We had a great time making that show. Everybody's scattered to the winds. You know, Colin and Ryan are dominating comedy culture in the great white north. Wayne is out there on Broadway earning Tony nominations. And I think we would come back together under the right conditions. But it was very much lightning in a bottle. And we did it for 20 seasons. And it was a really great experience. And they're out there for people to consume at their leisure whenever they like.